Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Dub. It's been a couple months since I made a video. I'll do a update on what's going on with me and everything. Today's video is actually about veterans and people that are suicidal, and these are some words of wisdom to help to not commit suicide and to not dig in on yourself and beat yourself up constantly with anxiety, depression, PTSD, schizophrenia, whatever you got. So I want you guys to know a little bit about Job, the book of Job in the Bible. So Job was a good man, right? And you often hear people say in the world that, hey, like, why do bad things happen to good people? Job's one of those guys. Job, he was basically a pretty wealthy man back then, right? And he, he had a lot of land, a lot of flock, farm animals and everything. He had a wife and kids and like good amount of stuff, what we would call successful today. And so the devil, and I'm gonna let you know the devil exists. He can come in many different forms. I can guarantee you he doesn't come with a horns on his head and like it's not obvious. You know what I'm saying? So like a lot of times when we're down, right, we're thinking, man, I can't do this, I can't do that, especially depression and especially PTSD in my case. I don't have depression, but I know I have it every now and then when I get off meds. But I'm just letting you know, when all those bad thoughts come in, sometimes, a lot of times, probably that's us that's saying, oh, we can't do this and this and that. Well, if you just look in the Bible, whether you believe or not, take it. If you don't believe in God, take this book as maybe like a roadmap for like good quotes, if you will, like how say like, oh, if life gives you lemons, make lemonade, kind of thing like that. Listen, obviously I want you to believe and I want you to know God, not for my own self satisfaction, or I don't want you to just turn or burn kind of thing. That's not what it's about. Like being a Christian is more about having a relationship with Jesus, and just try it, just test them out. Anyways, I want to get back to the text real quick. So Job was a good man, right? The enemy, the devil, Satan, whatever you want to call him, Lucifer, he's looking for somebody to devour at all times, right? He walks around the earth like a roaring lion. You don't see him, but he's there. And so he sees Job, or no, God says, look at my servant Job. He won't do anything. He won't turn to you, devil. He won't do anything bad, nothing like that. And then Satan's like, oh yeah, I'm going to make him turn. I'm going to do all these bad things. And God's like, all right, go for it. Not to say that God's causing all of our problems or all of your problems, but he can use things that are going bad in our life for good. So bear with me a little bit. So Job gets cast with sickness. He loses his wife, he loses his kids, he loses his riches, and he gets so tattered and so like depressed and anxious and stuff. He shaves his head. For back then, people shave their heads because of like anxiety and stress and depression and stuff like that. And he wore burlaps. He put ashes on his head. Back in those days, they would do that as a sign of like, hey, I'm like really downtrodden. I'm like not doing great, Anyways, he keeps the faith. He has friends that saying, hey, what did you do, man? Like, what did you do wrong? Like, so like, if you think about it, like in our lives, like, yo, just snap out of it, bro. Just snap out of that anxiety, snap out of that depression. You'll be fine. Look at, it's so nice outside. It's so sunny. Like, what did you do to deserve this kind of thing? Or you say like, oh man, like, like our friends, they really try to help, but it's not really helping. But, Job's friends were like, man, you must have done something bad, right? So after some suffering a while, right, and the Satan's tempting him and whatnot, and really striking him down hard, he still doesn't turn away, right? And God blesses him for that, and he blesses Job 10 times more, right, than he had, right? Now, I say that because, not to say that, God's gonna let the enemy strike you down and stuff like that, but sometimes if we look at our lives and we say, why would God let this happen? Like, why would God let this person die, or let these things happen, right? We also got to remember that, life happens, circumstance happens. It's not God's fault. It's not always, we think it might be, but it's not. I think that we need to, if you take a look at a couple verses in this book, right? So like Philippians 4:13, it says that I can do all things through God who strengthens me, or through Christ who strengthens me, right? Now, what does that mean in our daily lives? That means, like, for me, I have PTSD and I have anxiety. So when I'm out in town and I'm having really bad intrusive thoughts, like all the time, drives me nuts. But when I feel like condemning myself, as not as a sin thing, but just like, man, I'm such a bad person, man. Like, I just feel like garbage. Like, for those of us with PTSD from combat, or first responders, or any kind of PTSD where you feel like fighting people all the time, like I do, like, man, I'm such a bad person, man. It's not. And this will tell you that you're not. Once you have a relationship with Jesus, like, he really transforms your life and transforms your understanding, your thinking, right? Sometimes, yeah, it's like a boom, like you're a completely different person. I've seen people have that, like just a deep revelation. And sometimes, like for me, it's very gradual. And sometimes it feels like it's like skirt, 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 But I can honestly tell you that, like, I've been doing exposure therapy on my own, and I did it, with my therapist. And the more that I tell myself the things that God tells me about me as a believer, the easier it is. It's not a lorazepam, it's not an Ativan, it's not a Xanax, right away. But over time, like, you start getting mental strength, mental fortitude, and you can look in this book and see men and women that have gone through the same struggles that you and I are and have, right? And you can see how God's delivered them through that. Yeah, I might be sounding churchy and preaching everything, but I'm telling you, if you're thinking about killing yourself and you haven't looked at this book, just look at some of the, just Google it, like Philippians 4:13, Romans 8:1, right? If you're a Christian, you're a new believer, and you're having all these crazy thoughts, and you have PTSD and stress and depression and anxiety, just know that, like, Romans 8:1 is my favorite verse. It says, "So now there is no condemnation for those who belong to Jesus Christ," right? And then in verse 2, it goes on to like the reasoning behind it, right? But yeah, like, I noticed a couple people that committed suicide recently, and I'm like, man, like, I know we can all think, like, what could we do? What could we think of, this and that. I've had my bad times with suicide. And I tried to do it when I was younger because of something that happened to me when I was younger. But I'll share that at a different time when I'm ready. But yeah, like, really try to, like, if you've exhausted all options, all the medicines you want and everything, and you haven't looked at this, just please look at this. This book can literally save your life. Jesus can save your life. Like, a lot of us think that, like, oh, well, I don't want to be going to church and sitting up and standing down and this and that. I need to follow all these rules. You start learning the Bible, man, that's not what it's about. You know, like, it's all about grace. It's all about love. It's all about peace. And man, if you have anxiety, depression, suicidal thoughts, anxiety, PTSD, all you want is peace. That's all you want. I know it. I'm the same way. All I want is peace. And so, I'm not here to tell you that you need to, like some people say, Bible thumping and stuff. You don't need to do that. You don't need to, thump yourself over the head and tell yourself that you're a terrible person and everything like that. Just Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John is the first 4 books of the New Testament. Please read that. And just start realizing, like, hey, I can be a child of God. And if you don't believe, hey, I can feel like a better person because I'm trying to do good. You know what I'm saying? I can look at the scripture or the text, if you will, and say, like, yeah, okay, I see where Job went through this, or I see where Paul went through this, or Peter went through this, or Mary went through this, or Ruth went through this, right? There's a lot of women in the Bible that have really good stories of how God's helped them, and men. And so just please take a look, just please. And I'm gonna start making more videos like this. I'm gonna start doing like like verses and stuff like that. Like, let's see, like anything really, just Proverbs is a good one. If you're having problems, and if you're like me, when I first started believing in God and, really trying to read the Bible and trying to be like a Christ follower, I can tell you right now that you don't need to read chapter after chapter after chapter after chapter and then be stressed out that you don't remember anything. Hey, just do like one verse and then meditate on it, And if you're having anxiety, focus on God's love for you. Don't focus on everything that, we think is like, oh man, it's just gonna be terrifying. And like, I see God doing cha, 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 Don't worry about that, because that's for the unbeliever. And that's for the people that are doing evil. Now, if you're not doing evil, you're good. And I tell you what, let's take it a better step, because I can tell you this book can save you. Even if you are evil and you've done evil things, you turn to God, He can make you a wholly different person. And I'll make another video on that from a man named Saul who became Paul. Anyways, much respect, much love, and I hope this helps somebody. Yes, this is my garage. That's my little gym. I've been doing gym from home. But yeah, like a little recap, I guess, for my last couple months. Started taking venlafaxine, and now I've been on it for a couple months, and then I felt like it was too much. And I feel like, these personally don't do anything for my anxiety, and I can't handle the side effects. I know I'm sure I've made that video before, but I'm like legit about it now. Like, I don't want to take SNRIs anymore, antipsychotics. I'm not saying that you shouldn't, but for me personally, that's my disclaimer. It's not for me. I'm gonna maybe take like Boost Bar or something, but really, I'm really trying to change the way I eat, change the way I think about stuff. I really need to start working on not watching YouTube, because, most of it is just, what's going on in the world with all the crazy people and shootings and racism and all that crap. And yeah, it's crap. But yeah, sorry. But yeah, so hope this message helps. I'm gonna start making more videos. I've been pretty lazy about that, but I am also recovering from, I had my gallbladder removed, and I'm recovering from the surgery, so it's been a little tough. But anyways, much love. Peace.